If you like Quentin Tarantino, you should definitely watch our picks for his best movies. Quentin Tarantino is one of the most uniquely creative directors out there. Decades in the business, produced many movies, and here are the best of all. Not a lot of directors attain a legendary status over the course of their careers, which is what makes Quentin Tarantino's accomplishment all the more special. The legendary director has utilized his signature style of directing to craft what are definitely some of the most iconic films of all time. Number 5. Django Unchained. Django Unchained is the first film Tarantino made without his longtime editor Sally Menke, who sadly passed away in 2010. You can feel her absence, as Unchained just isn't quite as tight as Tarantino's other movies. At 2 hours and 45 minutes, this was Tarantino's longest film to date, and while there's no scene that deserves to be outright cut, it's a movie that really relishes the length of scenes and every shot to where the film starts to lose its urgency. Thankfully, Django has some of Tarantino's strongest thematic work as he pinpoints racial power dynamics with the trappings of a spaghetti western. Number 4. Reservoir Dogs. Most directors would settle for making a movie as good as Reservoir Dogs in their entire filmography, let alone having it be their feature debut. For Tarantino, it's not his best, but you couldn't ask for a more confident and assured introduction. It's got all of the hallmarks that Tarantino would become known for, but it hits at themes that Tarantino would return to as he focuses power dynamics, masculinity, and self-destruction. "You shoot me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize," and in the next scene one of them is crying out in pain and bleeding to death. Number 3. Pulp Fiction. The film that made Tarantino a household name is still a landmark, and for good reason. In many ways, it feels like Tarantino refines and expands upon the talent he showed in Reservoir Dogs. You've still got criminals in the black and white suits and they're still shooting the shit on their way to do crimes, but there's more depth and nuance to Jules and Vincent than any of the crooks from Tarantino's first feature. A second feature shouldn't be as brash and confident as Pulp Fiction, but Tarantino knows exactly what he wants to do and has no reservations pushing his style. It's a movie that's constantly throwing curveballs at the audience, but that's kind of the point. Number 2. Inglourious Basterds. The first of Tarantino's movies to rewrite history, Inglourious Basterds shows a remarkable amount of maturity from the director while still maintaining his voice and style. It's a film that's far more controlled and willing to luxuriate in long conversations. It uses notions of observed and unobserved to ultimately make a movie about movies. And yet that never feels cavalier in its World War II setting. Tarantino knows how gruesome and ugly war, and especially the Holocaust, can be, but rather than show those directly, he chooses to dive into the power dynamics that can be destroyed through performance. Number 1. Jackie Brown. Tarantino's detractors will say it's telling that his best movie is an adaptation, but I'd counter that Jackie Brown shows a remarkable amount of daring from the director. Tarantino's detractors will say it's telling that his best movie is an adaptation, but I'd counter that Jackie Brown shows a remarkable amount of daring from the director. Yes, it's based off Elmore Leonard's novel Rum Punch, but it's still unmistakably a Tarantino movie while also pushing the director out of his comfort zone. While I'm sure there was a temptation for more of the same following the massive success of Pulp Fiction, Tarantino went in a drastically different direction while still retaining themes he explored in his first two features.